Hi and welcome to North Tyneside Music Education Hub's #Music Takeaway Week 3. This week is a little bit different in that previously you have responded to one song that we've sent to you, but this week we're going to send you something different. We would like you to look at the BBC 10 Pieces at Home. In this short video, I'm going to show you how to access that on the internet, so there'll be a little bit of screen sharing onto my web pages, and then go through the different options of what you can do. So I'm going to start with that now. And click over. Here we go. Get creative with classical music at home. Firstly, I'd just like to say the reason why we picked this is because over the last few years, BBC 10 Pieces have released batches of 10 pieces at a time, and we have taught across the region in many of our primary and secondary schools different 10 pieces. We have composed, we have performed, we have sung, we've done body percussion, we have done some creative story writing, we've done some animations, there's been all sorts. It's been fascinating to teach and wonderful to see the responses that children and young people do. Myself and some of my colleagues are also arts awards assessors, and we've had the privilege to teach and also assess arts awards across the borough, and hundreds of our children have been so creative in that process. So that's what made us think, let's carry on with the BBC 10 Pieces. And now they've got over 40 pieces collated for you to access at home. So type in 10 pieces at home, and it will take you to this, but I'll also give you a link later on. Get creative with classical music at home. I'll show you this format and then we'll dissect it slightly. Watch a 10 pieces film. Get arty, so you could create something arty, and there's some examples of what you could do. Take part in an interactive lesson. What I like about this is that it's hooked up with the Royal Opera House and the Royal Ballet, so there's some really exciting opportunities there. Put on your very own concert. If we click into this link in a little bit, it will show you all sorts of musical notation that you can access. So it doesn't matter what your instrument is, there's probably a piece of music for you. And if you're a singer, there's also choral music for you to learn as well. Explore rhythm and pulse with the BBC Bite Size. BBC Bite Size have got so many things available for you to play with to develop your musicianship. And this one's featuring Anna Meredith. Then it says stay up to date with the 10 Pieces website. So you can also upload to the 10 Pieces website and share what you're doing, as well as sharing with us on our email address at ntmeh.music@ntlp.org. So I'm going to go back up. I'm going to click into where it says 10 Pieces Films. As soon as we get in here, I'm sorry, I just stopped because I wanted to check that we were still sharing. You can see that each composer down here has a couple of films. One is just of the orchestra or the singers or whatever playing, and the other one is with a presenter explaining the content of the music. We have got things like Delia Derbyshire. She wrote one of the theme tunes for Doctor Who and was celebrated as a female musician who was an early composer, and that was quite unusual at the time to have a female composer composing. We've also got George Gershwin with Rhapsody in Blue, Steve Reich, so he was a minimalist composer who did lots for percussion. If I go down, there's Vivaldi from the Four Seasons. Earth was written by Hans Zimmer, so Hans Zimmer writes lots of music for the films that we enjoy watching, and his music is both orchestral but it's also choral. Quite often he uses music technology as well to enhance it, so it's a really fantastic opportunity to explore that. John Adams, Short Ride in a Fast Car. Kerry Andrew, No Place Like Home. I really enjoyed teaching this one. So it's about what home means to you, what community means to you, and it uses words that children have come up with and it's been turned into a song. It's great. Bach, Beethoven, Leonard Bernstein from Mambo, from West Side Story. I wonder whether you could do a dance to that. That would be so cool. Benjamin Britten's Storm. This one's a really, really inspiring one if you want to think about scary nights when the sea gets rough. It's amazing to think where your imagination could take it. There is Hoedown in the Hall of the Mountain King, which is a little bit frightening, isn't it? Because I think there's a troll inside that mountain. Then we've got Zadok the Priest, Mars from Holt's the Planet, Anna Meredith to connect it. So that's completely body percussion. Fantastic opportunity to develop that. And using patterns that repeat that we call ostinatos, you could also do your own thing. Mussorgsky's A Night on a Bare Mountain. Look at the face of this witch. Very scary story. Carl Orff's Carmina Burana. This again is used for many a scary film, but it's really, really good to use. And the premise behind what O Fortuna means is fascinating to learn about as well. The list goes on. It's very exciting. Lots of this music you will have heard before. So that is when you click into the videos, you can watch it. If I was to go back, as I said to you, no, it's just reloading. We'll just give it a second. As I said to you, you can get arty, so you could create an artistic response, but we also would like you to have a music focus. So with the music focus, I'm going to take you down to the instrumental and choral arrangements. So if I was to click into this and take you further down, it gives you all the composers again, but we could then be looking at the score. So I'm just going to randomly pick Brahms. If I was to click Brahms, it would download into my download box. Now, because of the technology of what I'm using, I'm going to stop the share. I'm going to have to go back in and then reload the share. So I'm going to share a different document. In that thing that I downloaded, I had an option of many pieces of music. Some was beginner, some was intermediate, and some was advanced. And within each box of that, there were many different choices for instruments. So it doesn't matter what instrument you've got at home. For example, before I clicked on an example and it was a euphonium part. So if there's any euphonium players out there, there's definitely some music for you to play. This one is a guitar part. And as you can see, the notation is there. This is in the beginner section. So you could take this piece of music and start having a little bit of a go at learning how to play this. I'm going to stop this here. I'm going to share another page with you. Lots of sharing in this one today. And that is our music takeaway. So I'll bring it to the front and we will make it big. There we go. So Tuesday the 14th, that's today's date, which is the launch date. Here is the link that would take you to the website that I was telling you I was going to share with you. We would like all of your musical responses to be emailed to us, as I said before, ntmeh.music@ntlp.org.uk. I missed the UK before. You can also upload to Instagram, to Twitter, to Facebook. Notice the Facebook page is a little bit different. It's North Tyneside-music. Some of you have been trying to tag things to @NTMEH and it doesn't work. And then our TikTok @NTMEH music as well. It would be great if you could do some listening and praising. Listen to the different instruments. What can you hear? What style of music is? Find out about when the period was that this piece of music was written in. What's the structure? Is it a sonata form? Is it a rondo form, a binary form? What does that even mean? Use Google, use Siri, use Alexa, and find out what you can. It would be really interesting. How does it make you feel? And why does it make you feel like that? And does this music tell a story? Now that brings me to something. A lot of this music tells a story, and it would be lovely for you to guess what that story is and share it with us, or write your own version of a story listening to that music as well. So we could have some brilliant creative writing from this. We can have our music technology response as well. I'm going to the next page, performance. So on here, there's no link this week because we're not putting any of our links of performance tracks. You need to go to the website and have a look at the links that I've shown you already. For example, that guitar one I shared. Composition, the same. There's lots of opportunity for you to create your own compositions. And if you follow the interactive lessons, some of those will give you an idea of how you could compose your own music. I've already talked about creative writing, but it would be fantastic to see some of your dances. For some of you dancers and ballerinas out there, there's Tchaikovsky's Nutcracker music, which I know is featured in lots of your ballet lessons. So it'd be interesting to see some of your ballet dances. You could have some animation or creative poem. Also, we would love you to find out about the composer. Research the life and the work. And this is the thing that really interests me as well. Why is the composer a composer? What did they do to get to be a composer? Did they just wake up one morning and write a piece of music? Did they practice for ages with no success and then suddenly got successful? Have they started in a small group? Have they broken off and done it on their own? What is their pathway? It's really interesting for you to find that information out. Right, I'm going to stop sharing and stop talking because it's time for you to get creative and be inspired. I'll see you again next Monday when we launch the celebration of all this work with the BBC 10 Pieces at Home. Take care, stay safe, and we'll see you very soon.